All right, today we're going to talk about what happens when a transversal cuts through two parallel lines, okay? So let's get started on that. If your transversal cuts through two parallel lines, now keep in mind this only happens if the two lines are parallel, okay? If they're not parallel, this doesn't happen. Then this causes those special angles we learned yesterday to have special properties. You know, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, same side exterior. Those special angles, they're going to have special properties. So remember to ask yourself, what kind of angle do I have? And then figure out if it's congruent or 180. So you have to master this first, okay? You have to be able to figure out what kind of angle you have. Then you have to figure out if it's congruent or 180 degrees. So let's talk about this. We're going to fill out this chart. Know this chart inside and out. You've got to know these by heart. So first thing, all vertical angles are congruent, but that's not really a new one. So I'm going to write it down at the bottom. Just remember, they're going to throw a vertical angle at you every once in a while, and that's some old news right there. One of the ones we learned that are new, though, corresponding. Corresponding angles are congruent whenever a transversal is cutting through two parallel lines. And also alternate interior. Alternate interior angles are congruent, and alternate exterior angles are congruent. Exterior. Okay? So those angles right there, especially these three, they're congruent if a transversal cuts through two parallel lines. I mean, these vertical are congruent anyway, right? Doesn't have to be two parallel lines, but they're going to throw that in there on you. So that leaves us with same side interior here. Ooh, gotta learn how to spell there. Same side interior here and same side exterior over here. Okay, those add to 180. And then one thing that they're going to throw at you is a linear pair, but remember, this guy is going to be 180 not because of the transversal and the two parallel lines. They add to 180 because they just do. I mean, they're next to each other, they're supplementary, they add to 180. But they will be throwing those at you, okay? So let's talk about some examples here. Figure out what kind of angles you have and then look it up in the chart and answer what the angle is. So first let's figure out what kind of angles we have. We have this and we have this, correct? So are they alternating or on the same side? They're on the same side. And now, are they both inside or are they both outside? Ooh, neither. One's inside and one is outside. So remember when that happens, what angle we're trying to look for. Look, upper right. So both of these guys are corresponding. And in our chart, corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, and I know these are parallel because they have the little markings here. So corresponding angles are congruent. So that means angle 6 equals 60 degrees. There you go. Let's go to B. So we have this one and we have this one. Are they alternating or same side? They're on the same side. Are they both inside or are they both outside? Uh-oh. One's inside, one's outside. So let's see if it's corresponding. And they are. They're both in the upper left. They're both in the upper left. So remember, corresponding angles are congruent. So angle 5 equals 135 degrees then. All done. And I want you to try this one, okay? You try that one on your own. And we'll talk about that when we come into class. So you can skip it for now, or you can pause this and do it right now. Whatever's up to you. You know, you could do it at the end. You could do it now, like whatever works. But go ahead and have this one done for class. So let's go down here. Figure out what kind of angles you have and look it up in the chart and then answer what the angle is. And look at this. They want PQR. That's a little different, right? A little different from what we just did. So first let's find out where PQR is in here. So PQR. Okay, I'm going to put an X right there. Okay, now let's figure out what kind of angles we are. And by the way, let's do that again because some of you will put the X in the wrong spot. PQR is right here. Do you see this angle? Put your X there. All right, now, are they alternating around the transversal on the same side? They're alternating. Are they both inside the two lines or outside the two lines? They're both inside. So these are alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are congruent. Yay. So PQR is going to equal 35 degrees. I mean, I put an X there, so you can say X equals 35, and I would totally take that as the correct answer too. Okay? So let's go to the next one. PQR, there it is, PQR. So we'll put a little X there. That's the angle we're looking at. So we have this angle and we have this one. Alternating, or same side? Alternating. Boom. Both inside or both outside? Both inside. So again, alternate interior angles. And remember, we just said that those are congruent. So that means angle PQR is equal to 120 degrees. Or you could put X equals 120 degrees. I will take both. Let's look at C. You know what? I want you to try this. You try this. You can pause it and do it now, or you can wait till the end and go back and fill all them in and kind of quiz yourself with it. Whatever floats your boat, just make sure it's done for class, and we'll talk about that one when we come back to class. But for now, let's keep on going. Find the measure of the numbered angle. Okay, so first let's find out what kind of angles we have. Notice the transversals on the side. Sometimes they throw that at you, right? Some of you get real confused. So like tilt your head to the left. Are you tilting your head to the left right now? Tilt it to the left. Do you see the two lines that's going through? Okay, so while your head's tilted to the left, is it alternating around the blue transversal or same side? It's alternating. And is 130 and angle 7 on the inside of the two lines or the outside of the two lines? They're on the outside. And don't forget, alternate exterior angles are congruent. So that must mean angle 7 equals 130 degrees. Let's talk about 8. Tilt that head to the left. You got it tilted? All right, we're talking about angle 8 and 42 degrees. Same side or alternating? Is your head tilted to the left? Alternating. Is the 8 and the 42 inside the two lines or outside? Outside. So these are both alternate exterior angles, and those are also congruent. So angle 8 equals 42 degrees. I would like you to try 9 on your own. So this is all you. Show me what you're made of. Try this one out. Bring that to class, and we'll talk about it there. All right? So let's go down here to this. Use the diagram below, tell whether the angles are congruent or not congruent, and explain. I didn't give you a whole lot of room there, so let's just go ahead and write number 10 here. Angle 1 and angle 8. What kind of angles are they? Well, they're alternate exterior angles. And are alternate exterior angles congruent or not congruent? They are congruent. All right, straight from your chart, flip it back and forth if you need to. Let's go to number 11. Number 11 is right here, and it says angle 3 and 4. What kind of angles are they? Ooh, it's coming back to bite ya. Linear pair. They're a linear pair. And all linear pairs, are they congruent or not congruent? They're 180, right? They're supplementary, so not congruent. Let's be lazy. Let's use the symbol. There we go. Let's do number 12. 4 and 2. What kind of angles? Ooh, watch out. A little bit more linear pair. A little bit more linear pair. And we already talked about that they are not congruent. Not congruent. They're supplementary. They're 180. All right, so let's do number 13. 2 and 7. Boom, boom. What kind of angles are those? Alternate exterior. And alternate exterior angles, we already talked about this one. They're totally congruent. Look at number 10. We already said it. Alternate exterior is congruent. All right, so let's do number 14. 3 and 7. What kind of angles are those? These are the ones people miss all the time. Well, other than linear pair, people miss those too. Corresponding, they're both in the lower left. So these are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are what? Congruent or 180? Look at your chart. Congruent. Okay, so these are congruent. And then we have 15. 3 and 8. All right, 3 and 8. Okay, let's see. What kind of angles are these? They're alternating, but one's inside and one's outside. So like even if we looked at them like corresponding, they totally don't correspond, right? 3's in the lower left and 8's in the lower right. They're not vertical. They're not a linear pair. These things are real funky. Real funky. There's no kind of angle here, so I'm just going to write no such angle. Okay, no such angle. But let's actually talk about this picture and what's really going on here. Let's actually fill in what all of the degrees are. You're going to have to do that, so let's go ahead and fill them in. So if that's 120 vertically, that would be 120. And didn't we just say for number 10, 1 and 8 were congruent? Okay, what else did we say was congruent? For number 13, we said 2 and 7 are congruent. So hold up. If 7's 120, then 2 is 120. Okay, but if that's 120, then 3 is vertical, so that's 120. Now let's talk about this. Don't those add to 180? What's 180 minus 120? 60 degrees, right? So let's put a 60 there. So if that's 60, this is 60 because they're vertical. And then if we do corresponding angles, that would be 60 and this would be 60. So now let's actually go back and look at 15. Are 3 and 8 congruent? No. They're actually supplementary, right? But there is no such angle. But even if there was such an angle that didn't have a fancy schmancy name, they're still not congruent. So we can write not congruent because we actually know, even though it doesn't have a fancy name, we know it's not congruent because we filled it in because we're smart. We're cool like that. All right, so let's move down here. Now I'm going to talk about number 18 with you. We got to figure out what kind of angles these are. And we have this angle here and this angle here. Okay, they're alternating because like the transversal is right here, right? They're alternating. Are they both inside or outside? One's inside, one's creeping outside. So are they corresponding? No, they're not in the same spot. They're not a linear pair. They're not vertical. What is going on here? Like, how are we going to do the problem? Well, don't say you can't do it, because you totally can. Let's think about what's going on in this picture. So these are vertical angles, right? So if those are vertical angles, this is 90 degrees. So now let's focus on that. We have this angle and we have this angle. And what kind of angles are those? Now, keep in mind, here's your transversals. So you know how some of you guys got to do what right now, since the transversal's like that? You got to tilt your head to the left. Turn it, turn it. What kind of angles are they? Are they same side or are they alternating? You should have said that they're same side. Are they inside or outside the two black lines? They're inside the two black lines. So they're same side interior angles. And those, look at the chart. Congruent or 180? Same side interior. 180. Okay, so we're going to have to say that that 90 degrees plus the 2x plus 10 equals 180. And then you collect like terms. So 90 plus 10 is 100. So 2x plus 100 equals 180. And then we have to subtract 100 from both sides, and we do that. 180 minus 100 is 80, so 2x equals 80. Then we have to divide by 2 on both sides, and 80 divided by 2 is 40. Boom! We got the answer. What I would like you to do is try these two. So you try these. You're super smart. Now you're going to get them right. So try those two, bring them to class. Make sure you go back and fill in all the ones I asked you to do. And make sure if you do have questions, you know, you can always rewatch the video. I know some of you don't like to spend the extra time, but it's a really good idea to rewatch the video. Do it, you know, write it one time, watch it one time. Like, it'll really sink in. You'll get much better grades. Like, trust me on that one. And so anyway, we'll talk about more of this in class. If you have questions, bring them. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.